Hello students, today we are going to study the skeletal system. Skeletal system. Now what is skeletal system? The skeleton, the bones which is present in us form the skeletal system. So if you see cat, dog, all these animals, they all have skeletal system. So what is the function of the skeletal system? Now see, you can see this is the framework of our body from head to the toe. We have the framework which forms the framework from head to the toe, and there are various bones which are present which gives the frame to our body. It gives protection to our body. It carries out many functions. So how many bones do we have? Adults will have 206 bones. And the small child, baby, when it is born, it will have 270 bones. So now where does this number of bones, why it is less and here it is more for the babies? Because babies will be small, they will have tender small bones which will fuse to form one big bone, and therefore will have lesser number of bones when we grow up to become adult. So this skeletal system present in baby as well as adult. Largest bone, this femur, our leg bone is the largest bone. Thigh bone is the largest bone. And which is the smallest bone? Can you guess? There's a small bone which is present in our ear, which is known as stapes. It gives ripple for the sound that enters, and it is present inside the ear. So stape is the smallest bone in our body. So it forms the framework. It gives shape to the body. Certain shape to the body is given. We are given this shape because of the shape of the skeleton. Cat, dogs and various animals, they also have skeleton. Their shape will be different from us. Why? They have different type of skeleton. So we have a certain skeleton which gives certain shape to our body. Now with these bones, the soft organs, heart, it is protected inside the bone. Excuse me. Heart is protected inside the bones. If there were no bones, the heart would not have been protected. So it is protected because of this bones. Soft organs like heart, lungs, brain, all are protected by the bone. So here it protects the soft bone. Now this hard structure of bone, inside also it carries out certain function. So what function the bone marrow or the hollow inside carries out? It carries the function of producing red blood corpuscles, RBCs, WBCs, white blood corpuscles, platelets, all these are present in blood. RBCs for carrying oxygen, WBCs for protecting, and plate for coagulation of blood. Does not allow the blood to flow when there is a cut. Small cut, platelets will not allow, they will just form a layer, will not allow the blood to flow. So all these functions of these cells are very important, and where they are produced? In the bone marrow. Bone marrow is what? Hollow of the bone is known as the bone marrow. So this skeleton, let us start from the skull. Let us study each and every part of the skeletal system. So we start with the head, skull. This is the skull. Now skull is this part, and then our facial bones are present. So here the cranium, the brain case will have brain in it. Brain case will have brain in it. Then this facial bone will have various organs. eye socket will have eye, nose socket will have nose. Then this is the jawbone. This is the strongest part of our body, that is the jawbone. And this is a only movable bone. You can move, you can speak because of this movable. This is rigid attached, but this is movable. Due to that you can speak, you can eat, you can chew because of this jawbone. Then the teeth are there in this attached in the jawbone, which helps you to bite, chew, crush, eat food. So very important for us, all this structure. You can say totally the skull will have 22 bones. 22 bones. Now on this face you will have 14 bones. Then 8 bones from the head. Immovable bones in the head. They form the brain case. Inside is the brain protected in the skull. So it protects brain, supports the sensory organs. These are the sensory organs. Eyes we can see, sensory organ. Nose you can smell, sensory organ. And you have teeth, which is for chewing and biting. And lower jaw for it moves to speak and eat. So this is what is the function of the skull. After the skull you have the backbone. You have the backbone. Without spine you would not have been able to stand erect. So this backbone helps you to stand erect. So now let us see what it is made up of. It is made up of small bones. So that is the vertebra, and plural is vertebrae. How many vertebrae are present? How many vertebrae are present? 33. 33. That forms the spine. Backbone forms the spine. The vertebral column, all for the same, the name may be different, but spine, vertebral column, backbone, they are same. So the vertebral column or backbone, it has got 33 vertebrae. Now these small bones are entangled with each other. They are attached with the spine. There's a hole, spine gets stuck. There's a hole, spine gets stuck. So it's like they are attached to each other and they form a continuous bone, strong bone. Again, this is hollow. What is there in the hollow? Spinal cord. Spinal cord is the part of the brain. You can see as the brain continues from upper to the lower region, it passes through the vertebral column. It is protected in the vertebral column, and nerves are given in the each region by the space in between the vertebrae. Why it is not a stiff structure? Then the nerves would not have come out to give sensation to each and every part of the body. So here this spine has got the spinal cord. They are bundle of nerves which starts from the brain and then it continues into the spinal cord. Now here very important, last 5 vertebrae are fused to form tailbone. Tailbone, the lowest region is the vertebrae are fused. They form tailbone. Tail because the last part is the tail region and therefore tail. So here this is tailbone. This is tailbone. And 5 vertebrae are fused to form tailbone. Now the other name of this tailbone, as you'll always see, is COCCYX. Now how it is pronounced, various people they pronounce differently, but the actual pronunciation is cock, COC cock, CY psi, and you pronounce X at the end. So it is coccyx. Coccyx. So this is how the vertebral column will end into coccyx. Now we'll after studying the vertebra, a vertebral column will study different bones which are present in the hand and attached bones. Now the thoracic cavity. Thoracic cavity, this is thoracic cavity. Here you can see this is thoracic cavity. Here this part, there is a cage which is formed. Cage which is formed by these bones, so that inside it forms a cage, and inside you have all the important organs, soft organs, which can be protected in the cage. So this is also known as rib cage, thoracic cavity, cavity is the space which is formed in between. So how the space is formed? By the ribs. So it forms a rib cage. So what are the ribs? These are the ribs. Here you can see these are the ribs. These are the ribs. In between what you have? That is sternum. In between the bone which you have, which divides your body into two, you can say it is sternum. This part is sternum. To the sternum are attached these slender curved bones, that is ribs. This you can see curved bones, which is ribs. Ribs are slender curved bones which are attached to this sternum, and they are attached to the vertebral column, the backbone. So the curve, the circle is completed. From sternum they start and vertebral column they get attached to. So this is how it starts, it ends. So how many ribs do we have? 12. We have 12 ribs, 12 pair of ribs to form the rib cage. And as you can see in the photo, they are not exactly same. There is slight difference in the ribs. Now, how do they get attached to the sternum? They get attached to the sternum or the backbone with the help of cartilage. Cartilage is the soft bone which you can feel by touching your ear and nose. So soft bone will help them to get attached to it. So cartilage, it helps to attach to the sternum, and on the back side to the backbone. So how many bones? 12 pairs. 12 pairs. Now 1 to 7 pairs, they are known as true ribs. Why? Simply because they start from the sternum and gets attached to the vertebral column. Starts from the sternum, gets attached to the vertebral column with the help of cartilage. 1 to 7, they are true ribs. Here you can say, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they are true ribs. Then 8, 9, 10, they are known as false rib. Nothing false about it. It's only that they are attached to the cartilage of the 7th. The 7th cartilage, the 8th, and you can see this 8, 9, 10th. 10, 9, 8. They are attached to the cartilage of the 7th itself. 10, 9, 8. 10, 9, 8, they are attached to the cartilage of the 7th itself. So they are known as false rib, jhoote ribs, because they don't have their own cartilage. But indirectly they are attached to the sternum. They don't have their own cartilage to get attached to the sternum. They attach to the 7th itself. Now 11th and 12th and 11th, or 11th or 12th, you can see they are floating. They are attached to the backbone, they are attached to the vertebral column, but they are not attached to the sternum. They are not attached front side. They are attached here on the back side, and they are floating. They are not attached to the sternum. They are just held like that. So they are known as floating ribs. True ribs 1 to 7, they are attached from sternum to backbone, 8, 9, 10 attached to the cartilage of the seventh vertebra. Therefore, it is known as false rib. And 11th and 12th, they are not attached to the sternum at all. Therefore, they are only attached to the backbone. So, they are known as floating ribs. So, function of this rib cage, which is formed with this help of ribs, they function, as you can see the position where it is from ear to ear, ribs. All important organs like heart, lungs, and even the upper part of the digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, all are present in this part. So, protection of all these important organs, heart, lungs, diaphragm, liver, stomach and kidney. Now, what is diaphragm? Diaphragm is a dome-shaped muscle structure which is present on just below the ribs. It's very important for respiration because diaphragm, as it pushes itself up, the lungs will contract, push the gas outside. When the diaphragm pushes itself below, the lungs will expand, it will take in oxygen. All the muscles, all the functioning is relaxation and contraction. So here diaphragm will also relax and contract, and therefore the respiration will become easy. So this diaphragm is for helping in respiration, which is at the end of the rib cage. So now we'll study the other bones which help our body. So this is rib cage. Now we'll go to the bones which are present on the shoulder girdle. Now the girdles you can see here, shoulder girdle, this part, this collarbone and this shoulder bones and the collar bones, they together form the girdles to they give structure, and their main function is to attach to the limbs, attach the limbs to the body, rest of the body, with the help of shoulder girdles. Shoulder girdle, collarbone and shoulder bone. Here you can see the collarbone. Here you can see boat shaped collarbone and behind the shoulder blade. Function is, you can see this collarbone, and behind this is the collarbone, and here behind is the shoulder blade. Shoulder blade is behind and the collarbone is here in front. Here you can see collarbone. Here you can see collarbone attached to the shoulder blade. Now this hand will be attached with the help of these girdles. So what is its function of this girdle? Now we have two girdles, the shoulder girdle, that is the upper one, and the pelvic girdle, lower one. Both, they will attach the limbs. Hand and pelvic will attach the legs. So here you study the two function. Function is to connect arms to the rest of the body. Rest of the body is arms are attached to rest of the body with the help of girdle. Shoulder girdle, which has collarbone and the shoulder bone. Now it helps to balance the upper part of the body. It helps to balance the upper part of the body. Pelvic girdle is this one. This is upper shoulder girdle and this is pelvic girdle. This is pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle is made up of hip bone. If you keep your hand here, you're keeping your hand on the hip. So this is the hip bone. This is the hip bone. Now this pelvic girdle is ring-like. It is ring-like. So this hip bone is attached to the last part of the vertebral column, that is sacrum. It is attached to the sacrum. Sacrum is the fused bone. Last 5 bones which are fused form the sacrum, and that forms the part of the vertebral column. So pelvic girdle is ring-like, which is attached to the sacrum. Here you can see hip bone, sacrum, and the rings here together. Hip bone, sacrum. This forms the pelvic girdle. Now pelvic girdle will support the body, support the weight of the upper body. So upper body support is given by the lower pelvic girdle, and its function is to connect leg to the rest of the body. So this is the main central part of our body. Hand is attached, legs are attached. Hands are attached to the upper girdle, that is shoulder girdle, and the lower part is attached to the pelvic girdle. Legs are attached to the pelvic girdle. So this is the main body. Hands and legs are attached. Function is to connect leg to the rest of the body. Protects the lower part of the digestive tract. So digestive tract will be starting from mouth towards downward. Here up till here stomach will be protected. Here rest of the digestive tract, intestine, and all those structures will be protected by the pelvic girdle. It is like a support form to the intestine. Protects the lower part of the digestive tract, the urinary bladder, and reproductive organs. Urinary bladder is the bag which will store urine, and it has to be protected. It's a soft bag. So this is the function of the pelvic girdle. This is the pelvic girdle. Hip bone, sacrum forms the pelvic girdle. Protects the important organs. Now the arms. The arms. Here you can see this arm. Upper arm, this is upper arm, and this is lower arm. So which are the bones which are present, which is present in the upper arm? That's humerus. Here this is humerus. You can feel the movement here, and this bone is humerus. Then here you can feel two bones, because it is made up of two bones, radius and ulna. So together they are known as radio-ulna. So they are made up of two bones here in the lower arm. Upper arm only one bone is there, that is humerus. Lower arm two bones, radio and ulna. Here you can see this structure. This radio, and this is ulna. The thinner one is ulna, bigger one is radio ulna. You can see this structure. Humerus upper arm, ulna and radius lower arm. Now after this arm you will find this wrist. This is wrist. In wrist you will find 8 bones. You will find 8 bones in the wrist, and this is the palm. Palm and finger together you will find 19 bones, and wrist and hand together you will find 27 bones. So from here radio ulna, later on you will find 27 bones, wrist and hand. 8 in wrist, 19 in palm and fingers. So 27 bones in your hand and wrist. Here you can see this hand and wrist. This wrist, this is hand. This radio ulna, humerus. So this is your hand. Humerus, radio ulna, wrist and palm. Now you can see the leg, femur, this is femur. This is your thigh bone, this is femur, and this is again like our radio ulna, the hand. You can say that you have 2 bones here in the leg also. In the lower leg also 2 bones are present, tibia fibular. tibia, fibula. So bigger one is tibia and the thinner one is fibula. Tibia, fibula. And this bone is known as femur. Longest bone, thigh bone is femur. Memorize the name of the bones so it will be easy for you to understand. First understand the concept. Now here again there is a foot, like how hands, here there is foot. So how many bones are present in the foot? Here ankle 7 bones, ankle 7 bones, and foot ankle 7 bones, foot it is 19, total is 26. So from here to here 26 bones are present. 7 is this ankle and foot, there is 19 bones present. So here we have studied legs. Now joining these two legs there is a cartilage, there is a kneecap which is known as patella. Patella will cover the knee which helps us to walk, and there is the fluid in between which keeps it healthy and we can bend, and this patella is also known as, it's a type of bone which covers our knee and it is it forms the kneecap. So here is patella. Here you can see patella, round structure, that is patella, which is present in between the two legs, two bones of the legs. Two bones of the legs in between. On the knee there is a bone which is patella. So femur, patella, tibia, fibula. Now all these bones, if you see inside the longer bones, when you see inside there is a soft jelly like substance which is present. Soft jelly like substance which is present inside the bone, and that cavity of the bone is known as bone marrow, and bone marrow will produce RBCs, WBCs and platelets. Now each bone, all the bones, they are attached to each other. They are attached to each other with the cartilage. So how do you know how the cartilage is? You touch your ear, that is cartilage. That is at the end of the joints there is big cartilage. Here there is a big cartilage. So what is cartilage? Actually it's a soft bone. It's a soft bone, but it is tough. It is tough, elastic substances. You can stretch, you can pull your ears. It is because it is elastic. So elastic, and it is present between the two bones. It is present between the two bones. So they are attached. So it is, I can move my hand like this. I can move my hand like this. So it is because the bones are attached to each other by cartilage. So cartilage will avoid, if two hard bones would have rubbed against each other and wear and tear would have taken place. But since there is a cartilage, wear and tear does not take place. So tough elastic substance found between two bones. It absorbs the shock. Whatever, when you there is a rubbing, when you are walking there is a shock which is absorbed by the cartilage. It absorbs the shock and avoids the bone from rubbing against each other. So it does not rub against each other. Now the joints. Joints, you can see they are present everywhere. There is joint which is present in the bone. Now when two bones, where the two bones meet, that is joint. Where the two bone meets, it is joint, because they have to be attached with the cartilage. So it forms a joint. Now some joints are fixed. Here you can see skull, the 8 bones are just fixed with each other. They are not movable. They cannot be moved. So they are immovable. They are fixed in the skull. Fixed type of joint. And slightly movable. Vertebra, it's slightly movable. So here they are slightly movable. Example is vertebra. Some joints are freely movable. You can see, you can have many joints which are freely movable. Now, bones are attached to each other with ligaments. Ligaments, they are elastic bands of tissue. For the movement, these joints are attached by the ligaments, and these ligaments, they are the elastic bands of the tissue. Therefore, you are able to move because they are elastic. They can be stretched. You can move to a larger distance. So, joints are attached by ligaments. Now, we will see some different types of joints. Here, in the first and second vertebra, pivot joint is present. This joint is known as pivot because ring vertebra, and here it moves. You are able to move because of the pivot joint. Here you can move the neck here like this. You can move the neck like this. Why? Because in the vertebra first and second there is pivot joint. There is a ring which allows the movement of the head, allows the movement downwards. So this pivot joint, you can see that it's a ring-like arrangement where it allows the complete free movement. That is pivot joint. Here you can see here, and here you can see here pivot joint. First and second vertebra helps to move your head up and down, side and side to side, up and down, side to side, because of this pivot joint. So here you can see this pivot joint. Next is the hinge joint. Hinge means how the door opens and closes. The door opens and closes. That is the hinge joint. Hinge joint. Here you can see this hinge joint. You can open, close, open. So here what joint is present? Hinge joint is present. It's similar to the opening and closing of the door. Allows back and forth movement similar to the opening and closing of the door. So here you can see your elbow, you can move like a hinge. Now ball and socket. Humerus has got a ball-like structure which fixes in the shoulder blade, which has socket-like structure. So that is known as the ball and socket arrangement. You can move your hand completely. Because it has got a ball and socket arrangement. It is rounded edge of one bone fits into the hollow of the other bone. So here you can see this arm, the ball-like structure fits into the socket-like structure. So this is ball and socket arrangement. Then flat gliding joint. You can move your hand like this, side to side and front and back. You can move because the bones are attached to the other bone, and they can glide. You can go ahead, they can come behind. So that's the gliding bone which is present in the wrist here and the ankle, leg in the ankle. Flat surfaces of two bones that are held by ligaments. End of the bone can slide over each other, side to side, backward and forward movement. So this is how the gliding movement takes place. Bones are nothing without the muscles. Bones work along with the muscular system. Skeletal system works along with the muscular system. Muscles are attached to the bones. So muscles are thick and elastic tissues. Muscles are attached to the bones with the help of tendon. Muscles are attached to the bones with the help of tendon. Now, how does the muscle they work in our system? Muscles, they can be, you can only pull the muscles in one direction. You can pull the muscles in one direction. So you have to have two muscles, one to move in one direction, the other to pull in the other direction. So contraction and relaxation of the muscles takes place. Now you know what biceps are. Biceps are these arm muscles. The one which normally for the heroes it is bulging, those are the biceps. Biceps. And below the bones are triceps. So if the bicep contracts, the tricep will relax. Biceps, they contract. So we are able to fold the hands. The folding of the hand takes place with the bicep. They are able to contract. The tricep will relax. You fold the hands. And the folding has to be straightening of the arm. Exactly opposite has to take place. First, which one had contracted? Biceps. Now here the biceps will relax. Biceps will relax. This bicep will relax. And here the triceps contract. Your straightening of hand will take place. So this is how the muscle works. Muscle help in movement. Without muscles, movement would not have been possible. So this is how folding and the straightening of the arm takes place, and same way the other muscular system also work by contracting and relaxing. And the contraction relaxation is pulling one muscle in one direction, pulling the other muscle in another direction. This is how contraction and relaxation takes place. Now we have different types of muscles in our body. Now let us start with the cardiac muscle. Cardiac means heart muscles. Heart muscle is working throughout life. The moment it stops, you are dead. So if you are alive, your cardiac muscles will be working. Contracting, relaxing, contracting, relaxing. They are involuntary. Means you cannot control. You cannot say the heart to stop. So I don't want you to work now, stop. Because it is involuntary. Voluntary means under our control. It is not under our control, it is involuntary. So this heart muscle works throughout life without any stopping, and that is controlled by involuntary muscles. Then blood vessels, the muscles which make the blood vessels, digestive system, they are also involuntary. They are made up of smooth muscles. They are known as smooth muscles. They are involuntary, we cannot control. We cannot say the digestion to stop. They will just, you eat and it will start. Same way the blood vessels will contract and relax for the movement of the blood. You can't tell them to stop. What you can control is our skeletal muscles. Skeletal muscles means which are attached to the skeleton. Skeleton, hand, humerus, tibia, fibula. All those muscles, the muscles are attached. They are attached by the tendon. And supposing there is sometimes breaking of the tendon, then healing has to take place. It takes long time, and there is pain in the muscles. Bones also, if the bones are not healthy, fracture can take place sometime, and then the healing of the bone takes a long time. Tendon movement, skeletal muscles are under our control. I can move hand, I can move my leg, I can move any muscles which is present on the skeleton, because they are voluntary, under our control. So these types of muscles are present. They are attached to the skeleton with the help of tendon. That is why we are able to move. And muscles, they are thick and elastic. Tendons, they are also elastic, which helps the muscles to move. And by contraction and relaxation, the movement takes place. One muscle has to be pulled in one direction, the other in other direction. This is how folding and straightening of arm takes place. Now, we have to have a healthy, eat healthy for strong bones. you have to eat healthy for strong bones. So which are the food products which are rich in vitamin D and calcium, phosphorus? Our bone requires calcium and phosphorus. Vitamin D helps in absorption of calcium. So we have to have vitamin D. Without that, your calcium and phosphorus will go waste. Vitamin D you get under the sunlight. So without sunlight, without vitamin D, calcium, phosphorus would be wasted. You have to have milk. Each child should have milk, and if they are non-vegetarian, and milk and spinach, paneer, curd, milk, spinach, paneer, curd, cheese. They should have to be rich in calcium and phosphorus. The non-vegetarians, they can have egg, fish, meat for calcium and phosphorus to keep their bone healthy. If they do not get sufficient amount of calcium, phosphorus, vitamin D, the bones will remain weak and it will tend to have fractures. So eat good and healthy food for strong bones. Now, what keeps our muscles and the bones healthy? What keeps our bones is not only the diet, but also exercise. You should do regular exercise. When small children, especially the children, whenever they get opportunity, they play. That gives them exercise. But in adulthood, you have to jog, you have to swim, to do exercise. You have to specially do exercise. So exercising builds the bone as well as muscles. So exercise with good nutrition is must. For you cannot be sluggish and you think your bones will be strong, your muscles will be strong. So here it has to exercise and nutrition, both will build the muscles. So don't be sluggish, be active, do all the activities and exercise, play well. Then your right posture. Bones, as it develops, if in childhood if you are keeping your bones like this, it will develop like this only. Always be straight so that your posture will improve. Sit straight, walk straight. So this is right posture, wrong posture, right posture. You can see the difference, how they look sluggish with the wrong posture and they look strong with the right posture. So how this posture can be built is by being right in the sitting position, being right in the standing position. Then even the yoga, when you do yoga, you develop the habit of yoga right from childhood, you will develop good bones and muscles. So yoga helps in posture. Now different types of posture, different types of yoga, that is Tadasana, will improve the posture. If you stand straight with the hands closed, your posture will be improved. Then Vrikshasana, that is one leg up with this position, will improve the balance and improve the leg muscles. So you have to practice this yoga, Trikosana. Trikonasana, that is a position where it will improve the circulation. You form a trikon with the leg, you form the trikon. So your circulation will improve, it will go up, down, because your head is coming downwards. So and you move upward, the circulation will improve with this yoga. So exercise, eat good food, exercise, follow correct posture and do yoga every day so that your body is fit and healthy. Now let us revise the skeletal system. You can see the skull, the vertebral column, the shoulder bones. Here you can just revise this skull structure, that is skull, backbone, rib cage, pelvic girdle is the down girdle, up is the shoulder girdle, then the arms, legs, that forms the structure, then cartilage which connects the bone, then they are soft bone, you can see at the end of the joints, and then we have different types of joints, pivot joint in the head vertebral region, so that we can move our head like this in all directions. Hinge joints, you can move your hand like this, like the opening of the and closing of the door. Ball and socket, your hand you can move in all direction because of the ball and socket arrangement. Gliding, you can wave hand like this because of the gliding joint present here. Functions, that is forms the framework of the body. The skeleton forms the framework of the body, gives shapes to the body, helps the body to move, supports and protects the soft organs like brain and heart, and bone marrow produces the blood cells. So soft jelly like substance inside the bone produces the blood cells. Take care of the bones, have good diet, exercise, and muscular system structure and function. You have to take care. Cardiac muscles, smooth muscles, skeletal muscles, function is they pull the bone, they pull the bones to make them move, and taking care of the muscles, that is exercising and doing yoga. So with this finishes the skeletal system. Please like, share and comment, and comment in the Facebook and subscribe. Bye. See you.